Hello YouTubers and welcome aboard. I am Noob Flyboy X and welcome back to F1 2018 Career Mode, and there's the proof that I've upped the difficulty. I'm on 90% for the Austrian Grand Prix. Here we are in qualifying for Austria. Let's see here on our first qualifying lap on, of course, the softest compound tires now, and there we go, that's the fastest of the session at that time. That'll drop us down to 10th later as others improve, but easily that's enough to get us through into Q2. Here in Q2, the rain has picked up, and of course we know that I'm really not so good in the rain. The AI are pretty OP, especially in intermediate conditions. You can see me just struggling to keep the car in a straight line, and we are unable to improve from there. So, well, we improved on the lap, but not in position, so on the grid, it's 15th.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix of the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, and Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Perez, and Fernando Alonso, Ericsson, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, Iceman, Sainz, Stroll, Pierre Gasly, and Brendan Hartley. Van Dorn and Roman Grosjean starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, watch out at the race start. There will be faster cars trying to get past. See if you can hold them off.
Some good news, as a penalty for Roman Grosjean promotes us up the way to 14th. No real reason to change the strategy from that default one that got set up. That's a decent enough one here. As we go to 5 red lights, and away we go. And Carlos Sainz next to us has a very good start. He's already up past us. Fortunately, my teammate Lance Stroll hasn't had the best of starts, so we're able to keep him behind. We're challenging Vettel, who's down a ways, into the first corner, but he stays ahead of us, and Sainz is allowed back past us as well. Down the first main straightaway here into technically turn 2 and up toward turn 3. Hard on the brakes as the cars bunch up. I was counting on that. I'm up challenging the Saubers now, and actually get past both Sebastian Vettel and the first Sauber of Marcus Ericsson there, so that's good progress already, up into 12th from 14th. Trying now against Charles Leclerc down the straightaway. He's not using his full engine potential, I think, just trying to save it on for later. But there he goes up the inside. He holds that around pretty well, around that corner pretty well. So he's got that position. I think from here it's just better to be patient. No reason to force the issue just yet. Into the technical middle sector of the track here. Still following Leclerc, though he's getting away a bit. I'm hoping I'll be able to close that gap back in a little bit by the time DRS is active, so that I'll be able to, stay with him once that happens, because eventually we'll just end up with a massive train of cars all in each other's DRS. Kimi Raikkonen, who had an excellent start, sets fastest lap as he crosses the line first. He's doing very well to begin with. Here we can see a little bit into lap 2 the effect that I'm talking about. Though DRS isn't active yet, everyone's feeding off each other's slipstreams. Go for another move on Leclerc, this time on the inside. Hopefully that difference will make up for the, my mistakes earlier. And yep, there we go. We've got Leclerc covered off, and we're up to 11th, just outside the points. On lap 4 now, here we can see the full DRS effect that I was talking about as we get up to the back of Kevin Magnussen, who is fighting with Fernando Alonso. I've got DRS on Magnussen. Magnussen has it on Alonso. Alonso has it on the 2 Force Indias in front of him. I think Ericsson, who is now the car behind me, has it on me. Leclerc has it on him. And we are kind of left to stagnate in that way for quite a while, until lap 7. Magnussen's pulled away a little bit. He's just got enough pace to keep me out of DRS range. Carlos Sainz in the Renault has passed the Saubers behind me, so I'm in a bit of clean air, in a bit of an empty track here at the moment. So fortunately I'll just be able to, or hopefully rather, I'll just be able to make this work in terms of, just staying in the relatively empty track, put in some good lap times, and eventually catch Magnussen, I hope. On lap 8, I've actually caught up to him a little bit, and it's enough, just enough to let me have DRS. But on that first straightaway where I've got it, it's not enough to try to make a move. But he is very slow. His cars ahead of him bunch up into the first corner. So now I'm directly on his tail here. We can see heading in to the second straightaway, turn 2, turn 3, here we go. Going to go around his outside here, hoping to make the move on Alonso as well. But it looks like we're just going to have to do it on Magnussen. We compromise his exit because of where we're positioned, so he's not gotten the launch off that corner that he needs to stay in front of us. So that's a pretty good move, I think. We slot in right behind Alonso, little deep on the brakes. Magnussen's there challenging us again on the inside, but we've managed to avoid hitting Alonso, so that's the best part. And we do end up keeping that place against Magnussen. So there's a place made up. That puts us in 10th for now. That is the first of the points paying positions, and already a good race so far. I want to keep that going though. The next target is Fernando Alonso. Way late on the inside there. As Ricardo says, sometimes you just have to lick the envelope, lick the stamp and send it. There we go. Next up will be Sergio Perez. Alonso, not really a threat at this point because of his weaker engine. Oh, as I say that, actually, he comes back up my inside. DRS is enough to give him a chance. So there he is. Magnussen very close behind him, sort of using each other's DRS and slipstream to gain on me. Leave Alonso room there on the outside on the racing line, but brake later, and there we go, up the inside. A little bit off track there, but no penalties, of course. Bit of a racing maneuver there, so no reason for any penalties. Here on lap 11, Alonso here again trying to come at us. He's got the racing line. Around the outside, he's going to try. I'm very, very cautious going through there. Brake a little early. He's got the position a little bit, but we're still fighting wheel to wheel through the middle sector. And eventually there, he will back off just a little bit, as he knew the speed I was trying to carry would have, cut his route off. So there we go. Got him pretty nicely for now. Ericsson now the car behind. And Ericsson actually has a turn of pace as well. He's been using slipstream and DRS to gain on people. And he's actually got up to me this way after passing Alonso. A little bit of contact there, I think, into the first corner. He's still right there on my outside. Inside for the next couple corners. Here we go. Bang wheels again, I think. Holy cow, this is a bit of an aggressive move from him. But we've broke later, and we've got the position held off. And again, him being a little bit on the inside, we've compromised his exit on that corner, so we can't fight back. You can start to see our, starting on the middle compound tire, or maybe the harder compound tire, coming to good use here on lap 15 as we pass both Daniel Ricciardo and I think Esteban Ocon in the Force India. May have been Sergio Perez, I can't remember which, but one of the two Force Indias there. On lap 15 though, a little later, we've got some yellow flags as we go through here. I'm not sure what that is. I don't see any cars slowing at the moment, but it looks like it's actually going to be Pierre Gasly, who is just behind us, who is out of the race. As we come down into the middle sector, we can see him just parked up there just after turn 3. Ricardo, though, on my tail, is now finding a lot of pace here. He dives from my inside into the second to last corner, and he's got me into the final corner. Still a little bit of contact there as he, hits the brakes pretty hard. I'm in rich revs, though, got my DRS open, gonna pass him back here on the front straightaway. As that, the Red Bull is a pretty darn good car. It is the best car on the performance chart at the moment, but in straight line speed, Williams actually still, I think, has the best engine on circuit out of the entire field. So we've remade the pass on him on lap 17, so there we go. Got him covered off for now, but it's now him and Verstappen, the cars behind me. So I'm going to be under a lot of pressure to keep them behind now, as they're both very aggressive and very good. As we can see here, down the that straightaway they're good, but a little later through the middle sector they've caught me again. Ricardo's again going to try up the inside here, and I run a little bit wide enough that Verstappen actually sees the opportunity there as well, and he's actually made the move on me at the same time. Very opportunistic and very skillful driving from Verstappen there. Onto the front straightaway, I've got DRS again, but they're going to feed off each other's slipstream and DRS and actually help themselves pull away. So they're just going to continue to pull away until my pit stop on lap 20 of 36. So here we go into the pit lane. Hopefully we're not going to come out too far behind anyone. We can see just going past there is the two Saubers. They've been keeping, relatively close behind. Pulled away a little bit so they don't have DRS. But even so, they're, quick enough that they're able to go ahead of me. They both still need to make their pit stop, though, and there we can see one of the Ferraris who's a little ways back. Sebastian Vettel has been, down the order for a while this race. He's rejoined, though, in 13th, so we're not too far out of the points. And I know both the Saubers at least need to make pit stops, so that will promote us to 11th, just outside of the points. So we're not out of this. Even with, a couple laps left to go, there's opportunity to make passes here. We can see we're up to P11 on lap 23. It is on the end of that lap I find myself directly on the tail of Sebastian Vettel. Going through the last corner, there's Esteban Ocon on the Force India. It looks like he's got a puncture. If it is a puncture, he's going to have a long way, the entire track to limp around before he can get back to the pit lane. But a bit of some compromised running from cars in front of me has gotten me directly onto Sebastian Vettel's tail. In his slipstream, there's another DRS train forming. So it's going to be a little difficult, but we send it to the inside. There we go. Later on the brakes, very close to Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault. We actually don't touch there somehow. But we've got that inside line, DRS open, and with the superior engine power, we pass the Renault on the straightaway as well. So that's two cars just about with the same move into the next corner, and Hülkenberg is not ahead of me, which is really where you need to be to make the pass stick on that straightaway. Next will be Sergio Perez in 6th. Easy for now. I don't want to, pass him just yet. I was setting up a maneuver for this straightaway because I wasn't quite close enough. But he doesn't have DRS on Valtteri Bottas, who is in front of him. But I've got it on Perez. So there we go. Easily up the inside, or outside of him, rather, into the next corner. Bit of a tricky corner to manage. I keep running deep, but I'm still got enough pace going through there to make it stick. We've gone past Esteban Ocon, I think, 2 times, maybe 3 now, as he's still trying to limp back to the pit lane. But here's Valtteri Bottas on the front straightaway on lap 26, who with DRS we make quick work of. Doesn't even put up much of a fight into the first corner. He may have some kind of issue that I've not been made aware of. So there we go. He's still directly behind us. Sebastian Vettel is also out of the race somewhere behind us, so that's very unfortunate for him. I'm not sure what happened. I think he may have actually had an impact with the stricken Ocon, though perhaps Ocon had made it back to the pits by that time, I'm not certain. But from there, after passing Bottas and having Perez pass him as well, it's a bit of a lonely race up until the end. Here we can see on lap 30, a nice bit of clear air. Perez is a ways behind me. I'm 7 seconds behind Verstappen. Perez 4 seconds behind me specifically. And it's going to remain that way, or in that order a little bit, as I continue to pull out the gap from the cars behind, and Verstappen continues to pull away from me. We get to the line here in Austria, checkered flag, and it will be P5 here.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
Excellent result there for Daniel Ricciardo, who is standing in 2nd place on the podium behind Lewis Hamilton, but ahead of Kimi Räikkönen in 3rd. The fact that Sebastian Vettel DNF'd and Ricciardo got 2nd will reposition Ricciardo in the lead of the Drivers' Championship, and will continue to solidify Red Bull's dominance of the Constructors so far this season. So they're doing very, very well. 5th place for me is actually a real confidence booster, even though it's not a podium or anything really truly special. But we are up the grid from 14th, and we've upped the difficulty a whole 10%. So I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I can leave it there for the next race in Britain, which is, of course, where we are heading next. So that's going to be a much more technical circuit. It's going to be a real test of this new AI difficulty that I've set the game to. So we'll just have to see how it works from there. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Happy New Year, and have a nice day.